On behalf of Commonwealth Vocational University, Asia Pacific Chamber of Commerce and our partner organizations, I, Shabnam, your host, welcome you all. Today is the second day of the event. Yesterday, we started our event with gathering of teachers and principals across India at Hotel Le Méridien. Today, we are here at International Conference on Climate Change and Sustainable Development and also on global economic development, changes and challenges post-COVID pandemic. Also, we have amongst us eminent personalities from different walks of life. This shall be an opportunity for all of us to have interactions between us and understand each other. We take this opportunity to honor those who have contributed directly and indirectly towards the development of nation and society with Asia Pacific Excellence Award. Can we begin the program with a round of applause? Each one of you. I request our Dean, Mr. Sunil Belgave, to kindly escort the guests for today on the dais. Please welcome this gentleman with a round of applause. May I now call upon Dr. Ripu Ranjan Sinha, Pro Vice Chancellor, Asia, Commonwealth Vocational University, Kingdom of Tonga. Dr. Anandeshwar Pandey, Treasurer, Indian Olympic Association, who will join us in another 5 minutes. We too take pride to welcome Mr. Sunil Belgave, CMD, Belgave Education Private Limited, and Dean, Commonwealth Vocational University. Can I call upon Mr. Sunil Devarde, Vardhan Educational Consultant and Director, Commonwealth Vocational University. Can I call upon Mr. Kiran Bongale, Director, EduWealth and Director for Commonwealth Vocational University. Can I request Mr. Sunil Belgave to welcome Dr. Ripu Ranjan Sinha, Pro Vice Chancellor, Asia, Commonwealth Vocational University, Kingdom of Tonga. We welcome you, sir. Can I have Mr. Prashant Sinha to welcome Mr. Sunil Belgave, CMD, Belgave Education Private Limited and Dean for Commonwealth Vocational University. I request Mr. Prashant Sinha once again to welcome Mr. Kiran Bongale, Director, EduWealth and Director for Commonwealth Vocational University. I request Mr. Bilal Sheikh to come forward and welcome Mr. Sunil Devarde, Vardhan Educational Consultant and Director for Commonwealth Vocational University. May I now request Dr. Ripu Ranjan Sinha, Pro Vice Chancellor, Asia, Commonwealth Vocational University, Kingdom of Tonga, to come forward and share his views and address the gathering. A round of applause for this gentleman, please.
Good morning to all. Good morning to all of you. Good Good morning to all intellectual on the dais and off the dais. It is immense pleasure to say thanks to the organizer of International Conference on Climate Change and Sustainable Development. This is jointly organized by Commonwealth Vocational University, Kingdom of Tonga, Asia Pacific Chamber of Commerce, India, Wealth, Global Educations and Research Alliances, Vardhan Educations, and Belgawe Education Private Limited, India. I also like to congratulate and thanks to Professor Rakesh Mittal as a visionary educationalist and his entire team member for the conduction of such marvelous themes that is need of the hour. I must remember the statement of Ban Ki-moon, former Secretary General of United Nations. Sustainable development is the pathway to the future we want for all. It offers a framework to generate economic growth, achieve social justice, exercise environmental stewardships, and sovereign governance. Climate change is the most significant challenge to achieve sustainable development, and it threatens to drag millions of people into getting poverty. We have never had better know-how and solution available to address the crisis and the create opportunity for the better life for people all over the world. Climate change is not just a long-term issue, it is happening today also. And it entails uncertainty for the policy making, trying to save the future. In case of Russia effect in 2008, the Russian national found that winter temperature had increased by 2 to 3 degrees Celsius. Today's worst cases. In Siberia, over the previous 120 to 150 years, while average global temperature rose about 0.7% degree during the same period. Russia is projected to cross the 2 degrees threshold earlier than the world on average if significance and effective mitigation is not forthcoming. By 2100 means 2100 years, the northern half of the Asia, including Russia, is like to experience a temperature increase of 6 to 16 degrees Celsius, compared to approximately 4 degree global means temperature increase, and is going to increase. While warming might have some potential gains for the Russia also, the adverse effects include more floods, thunderstorms, heat waves, forest fire, and melting of the permafrost. Globally, permafrost is thought to hold about 1,700 gigatons of the carbon, and near shore seabed in the East Siberian area also hold a similar amount in the methane hydrates that could potentially be destabilized in a warmer world as well. This is compared to 850 gigatons of carbon currently in the Earth's atmosphere. On this, 119 gigatons are stored just in the upper 30 centimeter of permafrost. The layer that are most vulnerable to melting and irreversible release of methane. The release on even a small portion into the atmosphere could dramatically compound the challenge already presented from the anthropogenic sources, potentially wiping out and hard-won mitigation gains. Russia hosts perhaps 70% of methane in chemical permafrost, as well the methane hydrate in the East Siberian area, permafrost warming up to 2 degrees centigrade. In the parts of the European Russia has already been observed. Russia will be front and center for any effort to deal with the throbbing permafrost. And Russian leadership is much needed to better understand its effect for the global climate change, as well as funding solutions for the effective adoption. because all source of the climate change adapted for the Russian impact out there. There is no time to lose. In a quest, collapsing ground caused by melting thermos has demand buildings, airports, runways, and other infrastructure too. In 2020, the Ministry of Emergency Situation estimated quarter of the housing stock in the Russia far not would be destroyed by 2030. Analysis indicated that about 6% of infrastructure in the USA, based in the northwest European Russia, is located in the higher risk Faramand area, which is projected to now in the future. The region in the area of high industrial and urban development like coal mines, hydrocarbons, extraction sites, railways and pipelines. At the timing of the threat remains uncertain, potentially a few decades or as long as a century away. Decision making under uncertainty is also a very big challenge for the policymaker. Policymakers all over the world are facing similar challenge. While we certainly know that the climate will change, there is great uncertainty as to what the local or regional impact will be and what will be the impact of society as an economy. Coupled with this often great disagreements among the policy makers about the underlying assumptions and priority for the actions. Many decisions to be made today have a long-term consequences and are sensitive in nature also. Basically, climate conditions, especially water, energy, agriculture, fishery and forest and disastrous risk management, we simply cannot afford to get it wrong. Sound decision making is responsible and possible if we use a different approach rather than making decisions that are optimized to predictions of the future. Decision makers should seek to identify decisions that are sound to no matter what the future brings. Such decisions are called robust. Each country will need to find its own way to deal with the uncertainty and find its best option for low carbon growth and emission reductions. While they vary, every country has them. Russian forests provide the largest land-based carbon storage in the world. Better forest management and improved forest fire response a long-term standing field of the cooperation between India and Russia also. Indian government is also promoting the bilateral relationship between India and Russia for the climate change. And the World Bank Group are another example of reconciled growth and emission reductions also. Options for countries all over the world include a mix of the technology development that lower air pollutions, increasing investment in the renewable energy and energy efficiency, expanding urban public transport, improving waste and water management, and better planning for the when disasters strike. Each of these climate actions can be designed or redesigning to bring short-term benefit and lower current and future emissions. To move forward on the global level at the required scale, we must drive mitigations, action in top emitting country, get price and incentive rights, get finance flowing towards low cost carbon green growth, and work where it's matter most. Especially in the case of putting a price on a carbon and removing harmful fossils fuel subsidy are increasing step towards directing investment to low carbon growth and avoiding a 4 degrees Celsius warmer world. We are working with others to help lay the groundwork for the robust price of the carbon and providing and supporting the removal of harmful fossil fuel subsidies also. As the ambitious global agreement could help establish a stronger carbon price and should include commitments to accelerate fossil fuel subsidy reform and other fiscal or tax policy measures in support of low carbon and climate resistant development also. financing flowing, progress on the provision of climate change is critical. Government must deliver a clear strategy for mobilizing the promised 100 USD billion in the climate change. This is already declared by the United Nations Sustainable Development Growth Agendas. So climate change increase the cost of development in the poorest country by between 20 to 30%. For the developing country, the annual cost of infrastructure that is resilient to climate change is around 1.2 trillion to 1.5 trillion, resulting in a yearly 700 billion USD gap in financing, especially in the case of climate change. It will take climbing effort on the development banks, Asian development banks, financial institutions, export credit agency, institutional investors, and public budget to meet the climate and development challenge also. All public finance should be used to leverage private capitals and fill gap in the market where private finance is not flowing. It must be deployed in a way that least amount leverage the maximum amount from public or private sources. We are not dealing with such and how to jump start something in which the private sector is not interested, but how we create the framework. We have already, especially for the Republic of South Sudan, we have created the framework within which the no small but significant moment is captured, disseminated, and accelerated, and the speed bumps are removed and avoided. Climate change, especially climate change, no border. It will not stop before the Pacific ice flat, and the whole of the international community here has to soldier a responsibility to bring about, because climate change has no border. As they doesn't need the passports to move one location to another location. So a sustainable development by 2050, 2/3 of the world population will be living in the city. Helping development countries, cities access private financing and achieve low carbon, climate resilience growth and avoid locking in the carbon intensity infrastructure is one of the smartest investment we can make today. Every dollar invested in the building creditworthiness of the developing country, city will mobilize $100 USD, especially in private financing for the low carbon and climate resilience infrastructure to feed 9 billion people's nutritionally. By 2050, we need to make agriculture resilient, more productive and changing landscape, and aggressively reduce food waste also. Making agriculture work for the people and the environment is one of the most pressing tasks at hand we have. We need climate smart agriculture that increase yield and income, build resilience, and reduce emission while potential capturing carbon. The World Bank Group support the sustainable energy for all goal of doubling both rate of improvement of energy efficiency and the share of renewable energy in the global energy mix from 18% to 36% by 2030. With the statement of Ban Ki-moon, Secretary General United Nations, especially climate change is destroying our path to sustainability. World of looming challenge and increasing limited resources. Sustainability development offer the best chance to adjust our goals. So keep improve our mother nature without depletions, especially land, air, water, and sky. Only these things is a real God for all of us. Because without this, we all are not able to survive even single minutes or single seconds. Two. So keep contributing for the nation as well content developments, especially from the Commonwealth Vocational University, congratulating to all awardees and participants for this August gathering. CVU inviting application for a PhD by publications, doctor in business administration, PhD regular with coursework at our various felicitation centers across the globe, especially in the Dubai, Maldives, South Sudan, United Kingdom, and many more to come. So stay healthy, safe, and secure. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai Bharat.
Thank you so much, sir. May I